What is going on, Ape Nation? So in the last video, we were watching a clip from the SEC versus Citadel, or Citadel versus SEC hearing or lawsuit. And in the last video, we heard from Citadel's attorneys. So in this video, this is part 2. We're going to be listening to what the SEC has to say. This is the SEC attorney. And we're going to have one more part after this, which is going to be IEX. We're going to hear what they have to say. In my opinion, that was the best one. That's going to be either later on tonight or tomorrow. It just depends on whether I can get to it or not. Anyhow, we're going to get right into the video. And before we do, I know that you already know what to do, which is smash that like button so the YouTube algorithm shares this video with as many apes as possible. And of course, if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you're notified every time I drop a video, because I drop videos just like this one every single day.
Good morning, and may it please the court. Emily Truparisi for the Securities and Exchange Commission. The Commission's order in this case, approving IEX's proposal to offer its customers a new order type, was the product of reasoned decision-making, supported by substantial evidence, and should be affirmed. I would like to go straight to this idea that it's large orders that are turning on the CQI, which is something that I heard from Petitioners Counsel. The Commission not large orders that were turning on the CQI. What the Commission found, looking at the data in the record, is that, and it looked specifically at the extensive data in the record for what was happening at the time that CQI in these small milliseconds and microseconds, and it found that the stark disparity between the volume of marketable and displayed orders that were being executed versus non-displayed. And it's important to unpack that a little bit, because the displayed versus non-displayed shows that the activity is targeting the orders that don't have the protection of the speed bump and the CQI, and the marketable orders shows that it's the aggressive orders taking it. It's not the midpoint orders; it's the ones that are crossing the spread aggressively. So there was extensive data in the record showing that that the CQI only turns on when it's aggressive order taking, the hallmarks of latency arbitrage. Then you look at the qualitative data in the record that the Commission had before it, right? Numerous commentators wrote in saying that they could not trade in that manner, and that those that do use these large orders, these intermarket sweep orders, would not have any problem filling, because the Commission made extensive findings that the accounting for this de minimis speed bump, IEX's speed bump, is something that is commonplace in order routing. There would be no additional cost because it's commonplace order routing that people already have to take advantage of, take account of, because the delay at IEX is no different than the geographical latencies that are inherent in all the different exchanges.
What do you say to counsel's argument that this is inconsistent with the immediate and automatic language of the existing regime?
Sure, I'd be happy to go to that argument, Your Honor. So we think that the language really here is right clear, and I think it's just a misunderstanding of what that Rule 611 inquiry is getting at here, right? So Rule 611 says that protected quotations can't be traded through, and then you have to use the definitions to figure out what protected means. So in order to be protected, it has to be automated, and that's really the question here: are these quotes automated? It's important to take a step back and think about this. There's only two choices. It's either automated or it's manual, right? So, and it simply makes no sense to think of these quotes as manual. That's you think of a trading floor and a human sort of intervening. These quotes are not manual. They are automated because they immediately and automatically execute. And to focus on the word immediately, as I heard some of the discussion focusing on, it cannot be that it has to immediately, has to mean literally there's no delay at all, because all quotes experience some delay. And the Commission explained this very clearly in its automated quotations interpretation that it issued in 2016, right? All quotes have some geographic latency. So you can't take immediate to mean to literally mean there's no geographic delay whatsoever. So once you've taken account of the premise that there's some geographic delay, the question is, well, is this de minimis IEX delay any different? And it's not. The Commission found it's well within the same kinds of geographical latency limitations that all other protected quotes get. So it's quite simply consistent.
Ms. Cruz,
Yes,
so my question about that, immediately, isn't the natural meaning of immediate, sure, there might be a geographic latency, but if someone takes an intentional action to impose a delay, even if that delay is very small, as it is here, doesn't that mean that it's not immediate? So when there's a geographic latency, immediate is just sort of limited by technology, how fast, how immediate can something be? But if someone takes an intentional action, an intentional delay, that doesn't strike me as consistent with the natural meaning of immediate.
So, Your Honor, Citadel made that exact argument in 2016 in their comment letter about the plain meaning, and the commission addressed it in 2016. And it said there's nothing about the intentionality of the delay because it's simply the same from the perspective of the execution as the geographic delay. And so to the extent the intentionality piece comes in, it just doesn't come in the Rule 611 analysis, because the Rule 611 analysis is simply about the duration of time, and the intentionality piece doesn't come in there. It may come in terms of
the protected quotation side of things, right? Because the idea is that it's a protected quotation because of market forces, not because of an algorithm, as Mr. Wall said earlier.
Well, it's protected because it's sort of just ipso facto from the definition. It's protected because it's automated, and it's automated because it immediately and automatically executes. And it's important to go back, I think, Your Honor, to answer your question to Reg NMS and what Rule 611 was supposed to do. The idea there was to encourage automated trading as opposed to manual trading, right? That was the specific purpose of the trade through exception in 2005. It gave the protected quote status to automated trading as opposed to manual, because manual was too slow. And so the idea was to encourage automated trading. And there's just nothing that's not automated. I mean, it makes no sense to think of IEX's trades, IEX's quotes as not automated. It just doesn't make any sense to think of only the delimit quotes as not automated and therefore protected, because then you have a strange situation where some of IEX's quotes are protected, but only the delimit ones aren't, and the people trading don't know which is which. So it just doesn't fit under the structure of the regulation itself to not consider these quotes protected and therefore automated. The questions about access to the liquidity and what Mr. Wall was referring to as phantom liquidity, that is addressed extensively by the commission, but under the Exchange Act analysis, as opposed to the Rule 611 analysis. And the commission found that there would not be extensive quote fading and everything, but that goes to that analysis. But the Rule 611 analysis is really very clear under the terms of the statute. You're either automated or manual. You're automated. If you're automated, you're protected under Rule 611.
What do you say to the argument that the SEC itself caused the problem of latency arbitrage that IEX is going to elaborate lengths to solve, because the cause of latency arbitrage was Reg NMS?
Your Honor, I think I would say that, the issue before the commission here is whether the order is consistent with the Exchange Act. And so the commission has to take these things as they come. The commission is balancing competing policy concerns in terms of the Exchange Act and 11 Cap A and the congressional directives that is set out there to create this national market system. But the issue here in front of the court is simply whether IEX's proposal to offer this new order type to its customers is consistent with the Exchange Act. And here the commission found that it clearly was. There was extensive data in the record. And I did want to touch on, I see my time is up. And so I just wanted to quickly touch on, if with the court's permission, the idea that the commission ignored Citadel's data. It simply did not. It goes on for pages.
Before you do that, though, and I understand it, it's not perhaps directly related to the question before us, but it does seem to inform it. Do you agree that Reg NMS was sort of the first mover, the cause of all this latency arbitrage trouble that Citadel says doesn't exist, but IEX says does exist, and SEC does exist, and IEX is trying to fix?
Your Honor, I think pinpointing the cause of a market phenomenon like latency arbitrage is a very difficult thing to do, and I don't think the commission has said anything in terms of that. I mean, certainly regulations can have consequences, both intended and unintended, but I don't think that we necessarily would agree with the petitioner's characterization there.
Ms. Bruce, can I ask you, since briefing in this case, have other exchanges sought to follow IEX's model? And if so, how has the SEC handled those proposals, if there have been any?
I don't believe there have been any. Occasionally, someone will copy a certain feature of the plan, but then sometimes they will take them back. So I don't believe there is any true copycat of this proposal in the market. Precisely because to do so, you would need to already have the infrastructure. You need to have the speed bump and the CQI and all the pieces that go up that lead up to the delimit order yourself. And there simply aren't any other exchanges that have all that infrastructure. So I don't believe there are any other copycats.
Okay.
Unless the court has any questions.
No, thank you very much.
Now we would ask that the